Well, when you watch a tour player on TV or in person, you're going to see a very interesting dynamic. During the backswing, it looks sort of effortless, really. The coil, they don't have a lot of sway, a lot of extra motion. It's pretty simple, and it's very explosive going forward. The amateur tends to be very loose and tries to get power in his backswing, and then when they get to impact, they're very weak. So it's almost just the opposite of the PGA Tour player. I think the easiest way to look at pivot is to look at the legs, look at the foot action. It takes time to really study exact pivoting motions, so you can best do it using video camera or having somebody point out what to do. But I think the average person can look at how the legs work, watch how the feet work, how the player braces up on the inside part of that right leg or their back leg, and that's probably the thing that's most easy for an amateur to just take a look at and quickly understand. I'm a huge believer in drills. Obviously, I've written 2 books on drills with Golf Digest, but I like to particularly use drills that really work. I like to use drills that I've seen the PGA players use, the LPGA players use, that are effective, and I've seen a lot of people do. And one of them I learned back in the 90s from Jay Haas, who was one of the great players on the PGA Tour for 30 years. And now his son Bill Haas is playing great on the PGA Tour as a young star. Bill showed me this idea. He took a shaft and he put it in the ground, and it matched up pretty closely to the club he was hitting right here. Now he put that right on the line of the golf club, closer to that line right there. Now you don't want to do this too close if you haven't practiced it, because you could hit the rod, by going over the top. But what this does is it really makes you keep those hands low coming into impact. And I have used this idea with so many players in the last 15 years or 18 years since Bill showed me this idea. I use it different ways. This way is a little disconcerting because it kind of divides the ball in half with your eyes, but you can still hit the golf ball with this. And it's a terrific drill. So that was the Jay Haas drill. Showed it to me right here on the range at Doral, just about right here. I'm going to show you another drill, another way to use the rod. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put the rod a little more behind the golf ball, back here, into the ground, tee up a ball, same spot. Now when I put the rod back here, it greatly encourages a inside-out path or a hook path. So if you're having trouble slicing the ball, your fear would be coming down and hitting this rod. So you don't want to hit it or put the rod in too close. Do some practice swings first to make sure that you're coming underneath that rod every time. I don't want you to hit that rod and break it. So you stay on the inside. So that's a tremendous drill for learning to draw the golf ball. So you just stay in that same spot, really work your club underneath. Right, that's the hook. And when you have that PivotPro in there, it's easy to push off from the inside. So it is another thing that helps you to draw the ball. I'm going to show you one more drill. I'm going to put that ball back in the same spot. But we're going to take the rod and move it to a new location. This time I'm going to move it forward. Let's say I've been hooking the ball too much. I'm going to put the rod right about here. And what you do here is swing the club more to the left. If you've been hooking the ball too much, which a lot of advanced players do, there's a tendency to swing the club out to the right, hang underneath the golf ball, a little bit under, inside out. What you can do by putting the rod out in front of you this way is swing down and to the left after you hit the golf ball. So I'm going to really concentrate on this shot, on still aiming at my target there, but now I'm going to try and swing the club down and to the left, which will encourage the ball to cut a little bit. So there are several ways that you can use that rod to affect your ball flight, starting path, all the while using the PivotPro to brace your leg and pivot into your right leg. But the rod allows you a lot of variety. You can do a lot of great things with this. As I said, I use a stake, a shaft in my teaching basically every day, almost in every lesson. This little rod allows you to put it right in your bag. You can unscrew it, put it right back in your bag, no problem. You can put it in the little slot here, or just put it in the ground as I've showed you. That's a couple of really great drills that some of the best players in the world use.